Welcome. I'm Dr. Rani. Welcome you all to InstaClass by Amity University Online. So today I'll be going to discuss about the rural tourism in India, challenges and opportunities. Please share the slide. We travel not to escape life, but for life not to escape us. Don't you think that tourism is a requisite for all of us? No matter what the situation is. But it's true that we humans need an outing at some point of time. We celebrate this special day of National Tourism Day on January 25th for encouraging tourism across the country, India, and making people aware of the role of tourism towards the growth of the country. Under the aegis of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, Under the aegis of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, the theme of National Tourism Day 2022 is rural and community-centric tourism. Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav is an initiative of the Government of India to celebrate and commemorate 75 years of progressive India and the glorious history of its culture, people, and achievements. Today, India stands as a well liked multicultural society. Indian culture, whether as the way of life or apparent vast knowledge of science and music, is the mother of all civilization. In the recent years, there have been several initiatives taken to enhance tourism in the country. Incredible India app is an innovative project of Ministry of Tourism Government of India to assist the international and domestic tourists to showcase India as a holistic destination, revolving around major experiences. The Incredible India app was launched to make the travel experiences easier and more enjoyable for both the domestic and international tourists. Likewise, there has been the launch of Sati app, which is another initiative of the Tourism Ministry with the Quality Control of India to assist the hospitality industry. Because wherever travel exists, hospitality do exist and its other allied sector. The third slide. Now, rural tourism is an innovative topic of discussion when it comes to celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. The question is why? And the answer to it is why not? When almost 75% of the people in India belongs to their villages. India is a land of villages, and rural tourism is just like a book consisting of several chapters of Indian states and their rural beauty. Someone has beautifully expressed two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the differences. This beautiful line was said by Robert Frost. So it is high time to explore the less traveled destinations, and ultimately, this is the demand of the time. Recently, the Ministry of Tourism has formulated a draft national strategy and roadmap for development of rural tourism in India, which is an initiative towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. Self-Reliant India campaign is a vision of New India emphasized by the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi. The aim is to make the country and its citizen independent and self-reliant in all its senses. And when it comes to rural tourism, it was always a demand since ages, and of course, authenticity of culture lies in the rural lands. It is important to work on the SWOT analysis of the rural regions. Atmanirbhar Bharat works on five pillars: economy, infrastructure, system, vibrant demography, and demand. For this, a rural circuit has been identified as one of the 15 thematic circuits under Swadesh Darshan scheme for development aimed at leveraging tourism as a force multiplier for revitalizing the rural economy and for giving both domestic and international tourists a glimpse of the rural aspects of the country. This is governmental and institutional mechanism for development. Apart from this, Incredible India campaign and Prasad scheme have been another important tools for development of tourism in India. Scope of rural tourism in India. From the village vibrant activities, the natural beauty of the farms, cultivating techniques exposed in agri-tourism, making of colorful handicraft materials, and souvenirs are just wandering to enjoy the natural beauties are all scope of rural tourism and sub-themes of rural tourism. Now, this particular activity increases income for the local economy and creates numerous job opportunities for the unprivileged sections of the society. Multiplier effect is an initial change in aggregate demand which can have a greater final impact on the level of the equilibrium national income. Now, this rural tourism has capacity of attracting significant foreign exchange, investment and know-how and can stimulate the economy with the significant multiplier effect. On the other hand, networks with various stakeholders and aggregators can be created for an efficient supply to the tourist. Rural tourism overall can stimulate physical infrastructure like roads, common amenities, shops, entertainment, etc. at the destination. And once the tourist starts visiting the rural sites, a diversity is seen. There seems awareness of the value of an area not only among the national tourists but also among the foreign tourists as well, especially when we promote inbound tourism. Overall, rural tourism is a great initiative for promoting sustainability and sustainable livelihood, something that we can assure providing to our future generation. The other subsectors called responsible tourism that aims to minimize negative social, economic, and environmental impacts, and pro-poor tourism that generates net benefit to the poor are some positive impact through the rural tourism. Rural destinations in India. Now, these are some of the prospective rural tourism sites in India. The magnificent art and craft work of Hotka village, Gujarat, Pipli village, Odisha, and Ballapur Danga of West Bengal, where Ballapur Danga and Hodka were one under the projects by Ministry of Tourism Government of India. Then Puttur, Andhra Pradesh, famous for its mangrove agriculture and prominent silk business. Religious sites of Anegundi, Karnataka, and Tirthamalai of Tamil Nadu. Shamgaon of Assam for Buddhism, Chitrakoot for their waterfalls and natural landscape, and again Lachen of Sikkim for their lakes, Kumbalangi for its Chinese fishing nets, Molenong famous for their as a cleanest village, Spiti for high altitude natural landscape, tribal life of Bishnoi village Rajasthan, and the little beautiful Kashmir of Munsiari, Uttarakhand. Challenges of implementing rural tourism. Now, when it comes to the challenges, so challenges is part of life and it do exist in rural tourism field as well. Lack of proper education and language barrier act as a communication gap between the tourist and the host communities. Here we need to work hard. Sometimes the local government may find difficulty in supporting for some or the other reason, and hence there comes some lack of infrastructure, psychological barrier occurs when either the host community or the tourists are unable to satisfy each other. And in most cases, we find that lack of marketing of these rural sites, which are acting as a hindrance in economic growth. Any kind of avoidance may significantly impact the prospects of these rural regions. So, need to think wise. Not only government, the researchers, suppliers, and the key workers in the field could help promote this destination. Next, benefits of implementing rural tourism. So lastly, we can find that there are tremendous benefit of rural tourism. Foreign investments in these regions and proper marketing of products, skills, and rural talents could add to the employment generations in rural areas. Promotions of rural tourism could add to the empowerment of women, as we can see the example of women weavers in Hotka village, Gujarat. And there are plenty of examples like this. There will be preservation of unique local tradition, reduction in urban drift. That means there will be no need to rush to the cities to earn money. A wise cultural exchange can occur. Community pride can further help getting recognitions to the unknown tribes and their talents. There could be plenty of entrepreneurship opportunities. Sustainable development, which is the demand of this pandemic time. And last but not the least, rural tourism could help survive and promote the small scale industries like MSME sector. So recently, I was going through a paper written on the topic of rural tourism needs, scope, and challenges in Indian context that beautifully explains the rural lands. Likewise, so many researchers are working hard in the field to promote these uh, uh, destinations, to talk about this destination, to bring these destinations in light. So, with this, I conclude with a line that if country life is healthful to the body, it is no less so to the mind. Thank you so much.